This is my sketchbook. It's a Hobonichi Teko, a daily planner. The size is A6. It has one page for every day of the year, and a monthly spread too. Using this planner as a sketchbook has changed the way I use sketchbooks and made my drawing practice a lot more enjoyable and a lot less stressful. Today, I'll explain how, and I'll show you a week of using this sketchbook for my day-to-day drawings. Note, I said day-to-day, not every day. When I first started this sketchbook, I thought it was important to draw every day. Drawing every day just seemed like a good habit that a dedicated and disciplined artist would, of course, employ. But I actually don't think that it's good advice. Drawing every day might work for some people, but it might not work for everyone. So what do we do instead? Well, while I prepare some of these sketchbook pages so that we can chat about ways to make the process way easier, let me tell you guys a little bit about this video's sponsor, which is Universe. Universe is a drag-and-drop app for creating websites where you can easily pick a personalized .com domain and customize your site to match your creative vision. You can use it on your iPhone, iPad, or computer, which allows you to edit and build wherever you happen to be. With Universe, you can create any type of site, from a simple link list to a full online shop, portfolio, or blog. Here's the one that I made. My favorite part of Universe is how user-friendly it is. The drag-and-drop interface is really intuitive, and you have lots of customization options. Plus, the ability to build and edit from any device is really convenient when you want to add some new information or update your site on the go. You can start with one of the Universe templates. I made one myself that you can try out here, a blank canvas, or even their AI assistant, Gus. You can also use the download block to add digital content like illustrations. Universe is free to use, but you can make the jump to Pro to remove the Universe branding and get your own .com custom domain, unlock custom menu styles, and even gain access to the code block to make discount codes for your customers. And if you're in the US, the Universe Sell block will enable you to start selling your creations and make money on Universe. I have some special codes in the description for you guys to check out, so definitely click those if you are keen to give it a go. In my opinion, drawing every day is a broad simplification of having good drawing habits. And focusing so much on specifically sketching every day might backfire by making us feel burdened. If we skip a day, we might feel dread, or feel that the days pile up until they reach a critical capacity. And at that point, we might give up on our sketchbook altogether. So, what's a better way to keep a healthy and consistent sketchbook practice? Instead of using my sketchbook every day, I like to just use it consistently. I still want to keep up with the pages in my Hobonichi, so around 7 pages a week. But whether I do those pages in a single day, or 2 or 3 days a week, it doesn't matter. In fact, I kind of like when I get into a flow and can even complete a few pages at a time more than sitting down for a shorter amount of time to rotely do 1 page a day. To be consistent, it helps if I make the task even easier for myself. So, to make things easier, I tend to make my task smaller in scale. Instead of feeling the need to fill an entire page, what about just filling a single post-it note? When I feel overwhelmed, or even just as a fun anticipatory exercise, I place a single post-it note on each page. And that makes completing 1 or even 10 drawings at once, if I'm a little behind, feel a lot easier. And it also gives me the option to add on to it if I want to. So, make the process as easy as you can. Break it up into smaller pieces or drawings if you like, and use that to help you stay consistent. 1 drawing on a post-it note for each day is easier, and you have the option to turn it into something more or to keep it simple. Post-it notes are just one version of this. You can use any materials you like. In fact, it might be fun to use it as an exercise to experiment with new materials and see which ones stick. I like Post-its, but I also like masking tape, whiteout, these acrylic pens, and a simple, slim permanent marker. The structure of the Hobonichi Tekko also helped me get away from focusing too much on aesthetics. This quote comes to mind: "You can't write and edit at the same time." And I think this is especially true for sketchbooks. What is the point of a sketchbook? People have all different kinds of uses, but for me, the point is not for it to be a final, polished piece of work. It's a place for drawing, experimentation, and exploration. Sometimes it also happens to be pretty, but it doesn't have to be. So if you find sketching consistently a little difficult, relieve the pressure of creating an aesthetic sketchbook. Ironically, I like how my sketchbook looks more now that I've let that go. Personally, I don't use my sketchbook as a way to get better at drawing or to look for a certain aesthetic improvement in my drawing. I use it more as a place to collect ideas. Because of the structure of the Hobonichi, it encourages sketching to feel more like keeping a diary. I like this approach, and it matches the way I approach other things in my illustrating and artistic practice. I can focus on this space as one where I collect small moments, items, interesting scenery in one convenient place. My collection doesn't only have to be aesthetic, it can also serve my memory, or it can serve to record a certain change over time. I used to be a little jealous of my husband, who was a photographer, because as a photographer, you naturally have a lot of photos to pick from, and then you get to curate those photos into meaningful pairings and a final assortment of work. I always felt like with illustration, I didn't have the same process. But having a consistent and concrete collection of my own observations and small drawings has helped me to separate the writing and editing process for myself. Sketching and keeping day-to-day drawings here are kind of like drafting and writing. And curating those drawings and turning them into final illustrations or prints is my form of editing. So you can use your sketchbook however you like. Some people use them as areas to practice. Some people look at sketchbooks as full-fledged art projects in their own right. But for me, this record-keeping approach has been really freeing because it's about simply gathering material, not about creating a final product. And that means I'm happily surprised and delighted when I do like how something turns out. So, if you're finding it difficult to stay consistent with a sketchbook and you haven't found a groove with yours yet, I recommend trying a daily planner like this to keep your work. Leave the curating and aesthetic refinement of your work for later, and try using a sketchbook as your visual archive instead. Before you know it, those seeds that you scattered in the sketching phase will ripen into exciting project ideas. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe for more creative tips, vlogs, and inspiration from my little corner of soul. And until then, I'll see you here or on Patreon. Bye.